They will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary, how you doing?
Yeah, you was on the council. You see it.
No, I got on down 12.
Okay, so you saw it. So she was getting 2,000. Yeah. It look like we probably got a good agenda.
It's a dress and then this goes on top.
Maybe if we got it here, though. It ain't a real complex agenda.
That's delicious.
Yep.
19. No, not quite.
All of this
But almost.
go without discussion. It's correcting stuff. Ain't nothing to it other than.
Right, of course. It's a.
We ain't getting that out the fireworks. We what's the need for money?
She said they talk about it.
I enjoyed it. I'm just saying.
Take me to Hot Spring. I ain't got no way to
No, that was too far. Take me to Bluff. We go to Morton up there. Rockefeller Institute up there. That's a whole group over there.
Yeah.
And you gotta go way up there. Before it's cheaper or something.
Take me to
Recording in progress.
and it's approximately 5:22 p.m. Looking at, I do not have any budget adjustments in front of me unless the committee has some to bring forth.
No, sir, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right, hearing that we have no budget adjustments, then I will call for call for an adjournment for the Ways and Means Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Ways and Means is adjourned.
Ordinance and resolutions, we have 11 agenda items. 2 are ordinance. Number 1 is up for the second reading. Number 2 is up for the first reading. Agenda items 3 through 11 are all resolutions, and they will all be completed on tonight. If there's no further questions or discussion, that concludes ordinance and resolutions.
No questions.
Motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
So moved. Everybody doing all right this evening? Good. All right. Miss Heath, did you call him?
Tiger, you on your way up here? Oh, you got up. I thought you were on your way up here. I thought you were on your way up. Oh, come on. Okay, so question I got is, the paint machine, the quote I got for it was a quote from January. That's what I used, but I got a new quote from end of February.
actually till, February till the 5th month, just next month. It's actually, I think the quote y'all had was $213,000. But the new quote states $228,000. And I meant to bring a copy of that with me, probably that's more on my computer.
This is 213.
Yes. So it's 228 now.
Because of the time frame.
Yes.
And your budget cover it?
Yes.
So we just have to make a note of that. It's actually 228. Because that's what expired.
Yes. I know she's that's gonna take a little bit more to do. Because you gotta raise that math and cover and everything else.
Yeah, it was real low.
It's nothing wrong just about your dips. And you have to have a slope inside it for the water and off inside it too. So I'm looking at it and we're trying to figure out what we can do to actually make it smoother.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Oh, no problem. All right.
Try to get out of here, man.
I need to collect you all's alumni dues.
For the,
UAPB alumni.
oh yeah,
I'm a local chapter.
okay. Yeah.
When can I get it? It went up to $50. Yeah.
Let me see, what day it is?
Today is Monday. They having a membership drive today down at the incubator, so when we leave here, you just go by there. Just get the application.
He can't wait to rush over.
Yeah, right. Especially with that $50, huh?
What's 50?
Alumni dues.
Oh, for local? It was what, 35?
Inflation, though.
Let me see. You know, it's best the 1st and the 15th.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Well,
15 just 5 days ago. You gotta have a little residual.
What this is the 20th.
So you have 5 days. You have 5 days to think about that 15th check, huh?
Well, that's what I'm saying, they get the money before you get the checks. You know? Well, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. I'm gonna get you. You ain't them NAACP folk, I got you on my list.
Okay.
Do they have the online payment? Oh.
I need you. May, I need, I told you, you was able to get your
An association,
Oh, okay, I thought you said it's two different groups.
it is. So alumni, and then anybody associated.
Good evening. Welcome, everyone, to the Pine Bluff City Council meeting, April 20th. It is now 5:30, and so we will begin with the public comments on agenda items. Dominique Aziz, or Aziz, am I saying it right? Is Dominique Aziz, A-Z-E-E-Z? Dominique Aziz, okay. Lloyd Franklin? Lloyd Franklin? Lloyd Franklin? And then Julius Lever. Julius Lever? Huh? Is he here? Yes, he's coming. Oh. Julius Lever. You are wanting to speak on item number 11 with a position against. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Very quickly, as a person who has grown up here in Pine Bluff, I know that older people have a problem sometimes with what truths of the past to tell. For example, my mother waited until I was a grown man to tell me that she was teaching school in Money, Mississippi when Emmett Till was killed. He was school age, of course. My daddy decided to go get her from their community and bring her here and marry her, and 2 years later I was born. So if it wasn't for the tragedy of Emmett Till, I won't be on the face of the earth. I had a casket I homemade and had it in water at Main and Hardin Street. And national documentarians came here and they say we like it because when it rained, the casket came up just like his foot came up. I talked about a pink house not too long ago. But what people don't know about a pink house is a lot of older people relish the story of pink houses. Why? Because not all Caucasians or whites have been bad or have been ruthless toward African Americans throughout the years. For example, that's how some of the slaves navigated from one part of the country to the other part of the country by looking at pink houses. A lot of people don't know that history. Pink houses were painted so they would know where to stop, to get water, to get food. So some elderly people never told their children or grandchildren about the famous pink houses that they heard about as they were growing up. I had a pink house, and I mentioned the pink house, and it seemed to cause trouble. And I'd like to apologize for that trouble if I've caused it. Now, I have 3 pictures here that I'd like to give to the City Council. And if you don't mind, I'll just take my time and give it to Lynette Frazier and let her pass it.
Caesar.
Allow me, please. Leave my greetings, okay? I don't like to mention names. Sometimes names be important if the subject matter is more imperative than the names. But there's a building 1 block from the courthouse, and I'm passing the pictures around. There's 3 pictures. I gave it to Mr. Gilead if he can show it. This is a piece of property that our esteemed urban renewal director, CEO of urban renewal owns. The building was burned 10 or 12 years ago, as I checked some time ago, but nothing was done to it. So we here are being asked every week or two to condemn houses, to put it on people's taxes, but the director of our urban renewal has a building that you can literally walk up to and take 20 bricks and put it in a wheelbarrow and roll it out the street. Now, how does that make sense? Never have I seen anybody on that property cleaning it or repairing it in 10 years. Whereas I'm on Main and Hardin Street, and people see me there all day, all night for years, and they want to say it's become blighted. How could that be? There are two sets of laws in this city, and it's existed that way for some time. One law for some, and another law for others. And I'm simply asking for all laws to be equal to everybody, including urban renewal. And I thank you for allowing me to speak. And if Michael Gilliard could show those pictures, I would be grateful. Michael, can you show the pictures? I don't have them yet. Oh, you don't have them yet? Okay, perhaps he'll be able to show them some other time. And I invite, people ask me, do you think you're the only one that saw that? I'm not the only one to see it, but I'm the only one standing up because Mayor Washington, when it comes down to the shelter, she said, we're going to appoint you to represent the people. And that's what I'm doing today, representing the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lieber. I believe that, Mr. Franklin, I called your name a few times. If we've not concluded the public comments for agenda items, so if you would like to come before the council.
Good evening. Good evening. Nice venue. I have a couple concerns about an ordinance that you guys have tonight. I believe it's on its second reading. You all know me, most of you, I'm pretty sure, Lloyd Franklin, landlord. The ordinance that they have on the agenda is an ordinance dealing with landlords. And I was reached out and spoke to several landlords concerning this ordinance, and most of them have had the same point that no one from the city has reached out to them in regards to this ordinance with this, I guess, policing of landlord-tenants. And I want to be clear, I support safe, decent housing. I do not support slum conditions, and I do not support landlords who refuse to provide basic necessities. But this ordinance is currently drafted. It raises serious concerns for the responsible property owners and for the fair, lawful enforcement of city power. My first concern is that this ordinance appears to put most of the burden on the landlord, even when the problem may be caused by the tenant. If a tenant moves into a unit and brings roaches, bed bugs, or other pest problems with them, this ordinance creates a path for the city to come after the owner. If a tenant damages property, refuses access, or contributes to the condition, the ordinance does not clearly protect the landlord from being cited anyway. My second concern is non-payment. Under this proposal, if a tenant is not paying the rent, the landlord is still expected to be exposed to city enforcement over repairs like HVAC, plumbing, and other covered items. This means that the landlord can be forced into paying, repairing, and performing while the tenant is already in breach of contract. That's not balanced, and it invites abuse. My third concern is privacy and inspections. I personally do not like the idea of the city entering private rental property based on complaints without clear rules on notice, consent, access, owner notice, and due process. If the city is going to create an inspection system involving occupied homes, then the ordinance needs to clearly define how that process works and what protections exist for both owners and tenants. My fourth concern is selective enforcement. The ordinance itself says a large percentage of homeowners in Pine Bluff are renter occupied. If that is true, then everyone knows in this room that the city does not have the manpower to inspect all rental property equally. So what happens in practice? We end up with a complaint-driven system that can easily become inconsistent, selective, political, retaliatory, and based on who gets reported and who does not. That's not equal enforcement. It could turn into cherry picking. My fifth concern is about the penalty structure. $1,000 fine, $500 for each additional day. This ordinance gives the city the ability to cite owners, impose fines, and treat violations as continuing problems. This is a serious enforcement tool. Before you do that kind of, give that kind of authority to the city, the ordinance should clearly provide defenses, appeal rights, written notice, requirements, and a fair process. So I'm asking the council not to rush this ordinance through in its current form. At minimum, this ordinance needs to be amended to do at least 4 things. First, we need to clearly protect our landlords from liability from tenant-caused conditions, including pests, damage, filth, and denied access. Secondly, we clearly need to state that owners must receive proper notice and fair opportunity to cure before fines are imposed. Third, clearly limit inspection authority and define when and how the city may inspect occupied private property. Fourth, we need to create neutral enforcement standards so this does not become a complaint-driven cherry-picking system. Safe housing matters, but so do fairness, due process, private property rights, and common sense. If the city wants a housing ordinance, then it needs to draft one that that targets bad actors without punishing respectable landlords who are already dealing with non-payment, tenant-caused damage, and limited enforcement consistency. And I say all that to come into a close, that the tenant-landlord system that we have here, the market takes care of itself. If somebody is a slummy landlord, we know who they are, the tenants know who they are. If a landlord is not repairing something in the house, the same rules of state law that are there, contract law, they have an ability to get out of a contract the same as the landlord does. So this particular ordinance, from what I read, is putting a lot of burden on the landlord, even when it's not the landlord's fault, and it exposes us to fines, penalties, and unexpected avenues and things that we have to deal with that may not even be our fault. So before they rush that through, it needs to be relooked at, it needs to be tweaked, and I would caution the city that passing something that's affecting 40% of the properties around here without consulting any landlords, it just kind of leaves a bad taste in a lot of landlords' mouth. Thank you.
Mayor Flowers.
Yes, Franklin, would you be open to answering any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, Councilmember Fells.
Well, first of all, I do want to thank you for coming to the council to address this ordinance. Number one, just to be clear, all of the standards laid out in this ordinance, these are not new standards that have been created by the city. All of these are standards that have been created by the state of Arkansas. So in terms of altering these, that would be beyond our purview. We're not trying to add any additional standards. We're simply giving the city the ability to enforce the standards the state has already laid out. And the situation that we have here right now in Pine Bluff is that we have a state law in place, but there's no incentive for landowners to really comply with that. Because if a violation is found and we don't have any type of fines or anything in place, what is going to incentivize those owners to actually follow through on what state law is saying? And I know that you mentioned the responsible property owners. I think that responsible property owners, they have nothing to fear or worry about, because if you're already following state law right now, if you're not mistreating your tenants or leaving them in a condition that's just deplorable, you don't really have a reason to fear this ordinance. And this ordinance also does not prevent individuals from being evicted. Number one, the state of Arkansas is far behind other states in the United States in providing rights to tenants. This is the only state in America that does not have warrant of habitability. So state law already leans heavily in favor of landlords and protecting their rights. There's only so much that we can do as a city, but we can put these stipulations in place to enforce what's already been authorized by the state. In terms of inspection, we've put language into this ordinance that basically says that if a violation is found and the landowner makes a reasonable effort to repair that within 30 days, even if something happens and they can't get that fixed within 30 days, as long as they make a reasonable effort to do so, our zoning department has the ability to not pursue any fines. We're willing to work with people who are willing to put in the work to provide their tenants a good environment. But the situation we're in Pine Bluff, and I don't have to belabor the point, you drive through this city and we see houses, we see structures that are blighted, they're deteriorated, and it's tragic that unfortunately people actually live in some of these structures. And they live in some of these structures because some landlords in this community, not all of them, but some landlords have not done their basic responsibilities to make sure that these places are safe and habitable. Now, if you have a tenant who comes into your property and they are demolishing things, they're not keeping up their end of the bargain, like I said, landlords have rights. You can evict that person. You have the right to do so. But I don't think it's fair for an individual who is paying their rent, they are being a good tenant, and they're being left in a house without hot water for months and months. They're being left in a house in the middle of the summer without electricity for months and months. I wouldn't want to live in a house like that. I wouldn't want my parents or my grandparents to live in a house like that. So I'm not going to allow my constituents to live in a house like that. And in terms of the penalties, it says $1,000, a fine not exceeding $1,000. So there will be due process to this. Our zoning department, they will take this through the due process system, through the courts if necessary, and that fine can be adjusted. So if you do get a fine, it's not automatically going to be $1,000, but it's not to exceed $1,000. And so I'll just wrap up by saying that I think that this is long overdue. This should have been in place years ago. There's a lot of work that the state of Arkansas should have done years ago. Unfortunately, yes, 48% of our population, they do live in rental housing. That's way above the national average. I would like to see the day when we can have more owner-occupied houses. But until that day comes, we have to put stipulations in place to make sure that these rental units are being taken care of, because if they aren't, then that's compromising health and safety, and it's also creating a blighted city. And we can't do our jobs to bring businesses here, to bring jobs here, whatever the case, keep residents here, if we have structures that are falling apart. And so I think this ordinance is long overdue. I'm hoping that we will get this passed next month. And that just concludes my remarks for now.
Any further?
Do we get a redirect?
Oh, and I wanted to mention one more thing about the landlords, there are thousands of landlords, so it would have been impractical, infeasible, impossible for us to call up every landlord and tell them that this ordinance was coming through. The process is we put it on the agenda. There are 3 readings so that the public can be notified that this is coming before the council. And like you've done today, landlords have the opportunity to come in, ask questions, challenge us about it before we vote on it. So there are several weeks where people have the opportunity to do that. It's just impractical for us to consult with every landlord before we introduce this.
Councilmember Fells, did you have a question or you were responding?
Yeah, I was responding, yeah.
Okay, and I do believe there is a question, or do you have comment? Okay, so Councilmember Lockett.
Yes, Mr. Franklin. Is there any way you can send that information that you presented to us tonight? Because one thing I do know is, being on the council for a while, the easiest thing for the council to do is pass legislation. The hardest thing to do is to implement it. And in many cases, it's going to be left up to code enforcement to attempt to implement this in some form of ticketing, some form of due process. And I do believe you have some valid points. So if you could email what you sent to us on tonight, that we might be able to digest it and see where we might be able to put some guardrails in this legislation. I don't think, that's one reason that we read things 3 times, to get understanding that if we need to improve upon what we presented, that we have a chance to hear from persons like yourself.
Did you have a question for Mr. Franklin?
Yeah, my question was, could he email what he sent, what he just, the problem that I have is I hear what he's saying, but I don't have a chance to digest what he says, compare it to what we have in here to see how we may be able to put some, I'll give you an example. We may have, he's saying that if he rents to a person and it's a spotless place, and in 6 months it's infested with roaches, we may have to put something in here to say that in the contract, one agrees to the conditions of the home. So that would say that you rented it under, it looked like this. So I'm just saying that some of the stuff he has is valid. Some of the stuff we may need to think about, what is the process in terms of, do we notify the landlord that we are going to inspect his property? Because it's his private property, that even though somebody is renting it, it still needs to be done in such a way that the property owner knows that he's under investigation. So, I mean, if you could send that to me, then I can look at it and get with Brother Fales and his committee, and we may be able to look at what you're presenting to see what we may do to improve the legislation. Now, the legislation is valid. Now, the only thing it's saying is that tenants have rights. I mean, that's the only thing that it's really doing now. But I'm just saying how we go about enforcing it, it can go 1,000 different ways.
Well,
Mr. Franklin, just real quick, and I'm going to allow you to respond, but just on the question, can you please email that to my office and the clerk's office?
Okay.
And we will make sure that it gets to all of the council members. And just a moment, did you have something to say in response?
Yeah, because, and here's the thing. When you bring an ordinance and it's a feel-good ordinance, everybody wants to get behind it, and everybody wants to protect the tenants. But at the same time, you have to keep in mind that you have a due duty to protect your landlords, you know, and we're already, the odds are stacked against us with the tenant population that's here, with people with non-payment, people that are damaging properties. You mentioned an HVAC system that goes out. Well, if you have a tenant that consistently keeps their air on 60 degrees and tries to run it and cool the house down to 60 degrees when it's 105 degrees outside, they're going to tear up the unit. You repair it, they do the same thing. You know, they don't care about the equipment because they're not paying for it. But then when it's not working or they broke it, now it's on the landlord to get it fixed. And also they're not paying rent. So you combine all that with it. And now we're facing fines because, you know, we're under the gun of the city saying, hey, you need to get this fixed and this is the time frame. But then secondly, I noticed where they said that there are no fines that are listed in here. So where we say a speeding ticket is set by either the city council or the quorum court or the legislature to set what the actual penalty is. This ordinance doesn't have any penalties listed. It just says up to $1,000. So is this just an office person that's going to decide what these penalties are going to be or how much we're going to charge people? If the air's not working, we're going to charge you $900. Who decides that? Because that's not listed here. And then also, as I see, you know, and I appreciate Alderperson Fales' passion, but he started talking about this and he went off into something else and started talking about blight. And so here's the thing, is this a catch-all or do we start with this and then it turns into something else? Because we're going now from this to he started talking about blight and we see houses going down the road and we're trying to bring businesses here and there's a lot of blight out there. Now, I don't know which houses are blight or whether they are landlord homes or whether they're homes that people own, but it's like it's opening the door to a whole nother situation because we went from talking about this ordinance to now we're including blight. And we also heard the word deplorable. So deplorable conditions, that's a matter of opinion. If it's HVAC or plumbing or something that's deplorable, are we talking about the overall condition of the house? Or you know, it's just a lot of gray area there and everybody wants to get behind this. And my concern is it doesn't need to be speeded through here. Quick 3 readings. I think my request, and I'm pretty sure all other landlords in the city would agree, that maybe there should be like a panel or a committee where landlords and people can get together and make sure that everybody's protected and it's in the best interest of the city, the landlords, and the tenants. Because what I see right now with this going through is detrimental to the landlords. We're totally exposed, whether it's our fault or not. You know, and so there needs to be some language in there to protect landlords, and we would like to know, what are we actually doing? What are we policing? How are you policing it? What are the fines? I don't need to get a $1,000 fine because the HVAC system isn't working because the tenant tore it up and we repaired it and then they tore it up again. Or I don't need to get a $1,000 fine because somebody decided to cut a copper line on an air conditioner and the system was running and it damaged the compressor and it's going to take 60 days to get one in because they can't get this model in because they phased out all of these old systems now. So it's a process to get it done. You know, so we have a lot of questions, and I'm here on behalf of several landlords, which if we added them up, we're talking about over 1,000 properties. And I'm here speaking on behalf of them. So we have grave concern. We support the measure. We want to get behind it, but we just want to make sure that it's fair. And if it's going to the third reading and nothing changes, you're exposing all of us.
Mr. Franklin, so first of all, I want to point out or reiterate that we will be sharing your information with the council, and it sounds like you have the interest of, I know at least one council member who is interested in working with you to ensure that your concerns are addressed. And I didn't want to, I want to make sure to recognize Councilmember Mays, who also has a question.
Thank you, Mayor.
Fourth Ward.
Fourth Ward. Hey, you got a good point. I wasn't gonna support it at first. I started talking to some people in the Fourth Ward and around the city that I know, and it all makes sense. They have to, the landlords and the tenants really have to, come to an agreement on some of this stuff. They have to sit down because they're gonna have, you're gonna have bad landlords and bad tenants. You know, you're gonna find some of them people leave them houses at night, not paying rent. I get calls all the time. People that left the house, didn't pay the rent, and the landlord tried to help them, and they let them down. They tore the place up. We got to have more town hall meetings about this. This meeting is not big enough. It's not big enough for the questions that need to be answered. You got a lot of these young people going to be renting places down the road. If we don't fix these problems now while they're young, they shouldn't have to come by 10 years from now and deal with the same problem that we should have fixed. And that's what we're getting at now. A lot of problems are not being fixed because we're not fully paying attention to them. We just got to get better. Really.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion?
I just have a question.
Okay, question from you, Councilmember Frazier, and then we'll go back to Councilmember Fells and not shut it down, but shut it down.
I just have a comment and a question. When I was reading through this, I do believe that it was saying that it was not targeting those landlords that were taking care of their properties and stuff like that. It was about slumlords. And then also my question really is, because I don't know, so I don't rent no property, so I need to know. You know how usually when you rent an apartment complex or anything like that, do the landlords that own houses do a walkthrough like they usually do with apartment complex where the tenant would sign off that this was in this condition when they moved in, so that way there would be some kind of check and balance of this is how the property was when you moved in, and now that you're complaining, this is something maybe that you created, not necessarily that the landlord was not taking care of the property. Is that something that is being done or is feasible to do?
So I think most landlords, they have a pre-move-in checklist.
Okay.
But the problem is that when you run into the problems as far as like HVAC or plumbing and things, it could be something as simple as hair the drain and stopping up plumbing, or children flushing toilets down the line and it jams up the whole plumbing system. That can cost $1,000 in plumbing repairs. There's just an assortment of things that you can run into, like I said. But I think, me as well as everyone else, we want to be compliant with the law, and we do the best that we can. And, my motto is I'm not going to put anyone somewhere where I wouldn't want to stay. Right. But we do have different levels of landlords, and we do have different levels of rent. If your rent is $500, it's probably marginal living. And some people, they need marginal living, and that's just where it is, But like I said, I think there just needs to be a conversation where everyone feels protected. We know where it's going. And even what he said about blight, we don't take care of the yards. So if the yard's out there trashing the yards, people parking cars, abandoned cars in the yard. I have a property right now for 37th and Hazel. There's 2 cars in the yard. And the lease specifically says no parking in the yard. Back when the bus died of one of the vehicles, this is a nice neighborhood by the hospital, and we repeatedly tell them, hey, we need you to remove these vehicles, but they have rights just like we have rights. And so when you see that blight that he's talking about, that's a part of it, and those are things that we engage and have to deal with, and our hands are tied on a lot of things, but I think the ordinance is a good idea. I think that there just needs to be a conversation, between the council and landlord association to make sure that all bases are covered, because even though someone says this is state law, when you start enforcing it and applying fines to it, that changes things. That's a totally different avenue that we're going down, this venture here, and I want to get behind it and support it, but, it just needs to make sense from all sides across the board. And I think before the final decision is made, the city or the landlords, they deserve a right to be heard.
There are a lot of variables in this, because I do know personally a few people that have moved into, I didn't know until after they told me, but moved into a place that was not really something I would have put my worst enemy in. But they were told that if you work on this or fix this, then we'll deduct rent. And so it's so many things that go into this, because some people feel desperate to move into some of these places that are considered slum places. And then there's some people that move into places that's nice and then tear it up, or either it wasn't nice from the beginning. So it is a lot of variables to look at, but we do have a serious problem here in regards to slumlords. We're not, well, I know when I was looking at this, I wasn't looking at blight or anything like that. I was looking at how someone was living once they got in that house. And we're not asking for it to be marble this or marble that, but just nice, clean house.
Safe.
Right, functional.
Functional and safe, yeah.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you.
And Councilman Fells.
Yeah, really quick, just so we don't belabor the point. I will say, just to clarify, this is not governing a lease agreement. So we're not going to have people coming into inspection zoning, laying out their lease and having the city enforce the finer points of that lease. That's not what this is for. There are already standards laid out by the state. We're simply enforcing those. And right now we have a state law in place that the city is effectively powerless to enforce, because there are no incentives for landlords to actually follow through with the law. If we want to make this a good city where people can live and have a decent quality of life, we have to get serious about how we are conducting business. If we have laws in place, they have to be enforced. And I don't think that this is speeding it through. We have 3 readings. That is the process that is laid out in our ordinance. I think forming a committee and things like that, a task force, I think that would just belabor the point unnecessarily. We have a state law. It's time for action. It's time to protect people. This is the due process right now, having people come in and give their input on this legislation. But it's long overdue. We have to put this into action. And I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor. Mayor, I'm so sorry. One point I did want to clarify, and I keep hearing from several people who are saying that if we have a tenant and they're tearing up our property, I know several people who are landlords, mentors, friends, family members who are mentors, so I can appreciate the struggle. You rent out your house thinking somebody is going to come in there and take care of it, and they do not take care of it. So this ordinance does not remove the ability of a landlord to evict someone who's abusing their property, tearing up their property. That's between the tenant and the landlord. You have that right. This is not superseding that. This is simply saying there are basic things, safety and health, that landlords have a responsibility to provide in the state of Arkansas, and this has given the city the ability to enforce that.
Thank you so much, everyone, on this issue. Thank you, Mr. Franklin.
Thank you.
Before we move ahead, is Dominique Aziz here? Dominique Aziz? Okay. So we have completed all of the public comments on agenda items. And at this time, I will call the meeting to order. And we will begin with the invocation, and then we will move on to the presentation of colors. The Pine Bluff High School Air Force Junior ROTC will also lead the pledge. Madam Clerk will call the roll. We will approve the minutes, and then prior to that, we will, we'll go ahead and go down according to the agenda, because we have some champions in the house tonight, and that is the third item. That's the third item on the agenda, so we'll move forward expeditiously. Father Joseph Marsoni of St. Joseph Catholic Church is here to lead us in prayer. If you'll all please stand.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members, for letting us share our faith together. We don't just act in the Son alone, we act in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty God, I thank you for this meeting today. Lord, this council, they have an agenda before you. And that agenda before them is the will of God for them. When they do what's pleasing to you, the outcome will be in your name. We ask that you, Holy Spirit, to lead all these members, direct all our discussions that takes place during this civic occasion. I pray that you will use the skills and the abilities within each of us to accomplish the tasks set before us. We know the whole weight of the city of Pine Bluff does not fall on the city council alone, nor does it fall on the cooperation of all the departments of our city or the hardworking citizens of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Ultimately, as we get older from DC to Pine Bluff, it'll ultimately fall down to our faith in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to save us from our sins and to help us to bring about the kingdom of God at hand. Help us to remain positive in all our decisions made, to always remember that all things are possible through Christ, who strengthens us. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father Joseph. And now, Pine Bluff High School Air Force Junior ROTC will present the colors and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Recite the pledge with me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order! Arms! Right about. March! Forward! March!
You may be seated. Thank you, Pine Bluff High School Junior ROTC. Okay. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Maine.
Here.
Councilmember Holcomb.
Here.
Councilmember Brown. Here. Councilmember Lockett.
Here.
Councilmember Frazier.
Here.
Councilmember Brunson. Here. Councilmember Denton. Councilmember Fails.
Here.
Okay. And at this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from April 7th and, hold on, and the special call meeting of April 6th, both 2026.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the council approves the minutes from April 7th and from April 6th. Any discussion?
Mayor.
Councilmember Fails.
In the minutes for April 20th for the Development and Planning Committee, it says that we sent these items to the full council with a due pass recommendation. I just want that clarified.
Which date?
April 20th.
No, okay.
Page 3.
Okay.
Yeah. The minutes for April 20th.
Okay.
Well, no, today is April 20th. I'm sorry.
April 6th or April 7th?
The April 6th
Okay.
minutes.
So
Yeah.
on page 3?
Yeah. Under Development and Planning, it says we sent those items to the full council with a due pass. We sent that without a recommendation. I just wanted that clarified for the record.
Councilmember Fells, are you, I guess we need to do an amendment. So
I need to move that I move that we amend the minutes from April 6th to reflect that Development and Planning sent all these items to the full council without a recommendation.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the minutes from April 6th be amended on page 3 to reflect that Development and Planning Committee sent the items to full council without a recommendation. Any discussion? With no discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Mays.
Aye.
Councilmember Holcomb.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown.
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett.
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier.
Aye.
Councilmember Brunton.
Aye.
Councilmember Denton. Councilmember Fails.
Aye.
7-1.
Okay, so that motion passes. And now, and now I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as amended for April 6th and approve the minutes for April 7th. Any discussion? With no discussion, all those who wish to vote for the passage, the approval of the minutes aforementioned indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Let us go ahead, if there's no objection, to go down and, I guess we have to hear the committee. Yeah, let's go ahead and hear the committee reports, Ways and Means. Councilmember Brown, will you please deliver your report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Ways and Means met just before this council meeting. We did not have any items on the agenda, so that meeting was immediately adjourned, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown. Councilmember Mays?
Ms. Richardson is on the schedule.
Councilmember Mays, we're hearing committee reports. Let us get through that first, okay?
All right.
Okay. Ordinances and resolutions. Councilmember Holcomb, will you please deliver your report?
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance resolutions, we have 11 agenda items. Number 1 and 2 are both ordinances. Number 1 is up for the second reading. Number 2 is up for the first reading. Numbers 3 through 11 are all resolutions. They will be completed on tonight. That concludes ordinance and resolutions.
Did we have to do anything with this?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mayor. All of you should have amendment to be added to agenda number 9. And when we get to agenda resolution number 9, that will have to be voted to be added to them.
Okay. So we'll just add this
Yes, ma'am.
as an amendment to resolution number 9. If you all will just put that right before your resolution number 10 page in your packet.
Does everyone have that?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That concludes ordinance and resolution.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Economic and Community Development. Councilmember Frazier, will you please deliver your report?
Thank you, Mayor. Economic and Community Development has not met since the last meeting, so I do not have a report on that. However, I do want to take this opportunity to thank everybody who came out to support the Pink Night at the Arts and Science Center, where we did a movie and we did awareness in regards to breast cancer awareness. We had 125 people in attendance that evening, and this next month, for May 22nd, we're doing the movie Courageous, and there's still some seats available. It's a movie that's in regards to 4 police officers. So at that event, we will be recognizing some police officers during that movie event. So please, if you would like to attend, please let me know by calling 870-575-3619. Thank you, Mayor. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Frazier. The next committee is the Public Health and Welfare Committee, which would be led by and reported on by Councilmember Denton, who is absent this evening. So we will move on to Public Works. Councilmember Lockett, please deliver your report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Public Works Committee met on April the 14th at 2 o'clock in the old City Council chambers, and we sent the resolution authorizing a contract with Wagner General Contractors for work respecting the Flag Gate project. There was only 2 of the committee members there. It was a split vote, but we moved it to the council without a recommendation, but the chair voted for it. That concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Lockett. Councilmember Fells, will you please report on development and planning?
Development and Planning met recently, and we sent agenda items 7, 8, 9, and 10 to the full council, and we'll be announcing our next meeting time pretty soon. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Fells. Traffic and Aviation, Councilmember Brunson, will you please deliver your report?
Mayor, Traffic and Aviation has not met since the last council meeting, but I will update you and the council on our next meeting, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Holcomb, will you please deliver your report on administration?
Yes, Mayor. The Administration Committee held an appeal hearing on Tuesday, April 14th at 3 p.m. for Nikita Richardson of Parks and Recreation. The recommendation from the Administration Committee was to uphold the termination of Ms. Nikita Richardson, and we bring this back to the full council, and now the council has to vote on the Administration Committee recommendation.
Was there a position?
Ma'am?
You didn't mention what the position was.
To uphold the termination.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Is that the conclusion of your report?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. And finally, yes, Councilmember Brown?
The council.
Oh, right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, I move that the Administration Committee, I move that we uphold the termination of Ms. Nikita Richardson.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the termination of Ms. Nikita Richardson be upheld. Any discussion?
Well, I'm not.
Councilmember Mays.
I'm not in agreement with that. And I just want to let the citizens and the council know I'm supporting Ms. Richardson now. I think we should do more to help our employees and serve them versus the citizens always serving us. We need to serve them more. All you're going to do is create a void in their position right there that's going to hold us up some more. And that's my take on it.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Mayor, I have.
Councilmember Frazier.
I listened online. I'm online in reference to this, and I have a few concerns. I do believe that the director has a right to hire and fire if there is insubordination. I just think that some of the procedures that should have taken place wasn't taken wasn't done. Because what was said was that there was no intention to fire, just to have a discussion, but then when it got heated, it was no notification to the employee that there is a possibility that they might not have a job when they come back on Monday. There was no paperwork done, and then they just came back and they were terminated. I just have an issue with some of the process, and this is something that's been going on, not just now. It's been going on for a while in the city, in City Hall, where we just do not do documentation well enough in regards to situations that occur. I do know that there are sometimes some hot moments, but when the situation got hot and she was asked to leave, it should have been some written information taken in regards to the behavior, and there should have been some notification to the employee of what they could expect to happen before they left, even in that heated situation. So I have issues with it too. And right now, I don't know which way I'm gonna go, but I just do have an issue with that.
Any further discussion? Thank you. Any further discussion? With no further discussion, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember May? No. Councilmember Holcomb? Aye. Councilmember Brown? Aye. Councilmember Lockett?
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier?
No.
Councilmember Brunton? Aye. Councilmember Denton? Councilmember Fails?
Aye.
5-2. 5-3.
Motion prevails.
That concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Safety, Councilmember Brown, will you please deliver your report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Public safety, let's see. Date off here. Met on the 8th of this month. We heard from, actually we did not hear from Animal Control. He was actually out getting some donations from an individual in the community, and so, but he did not have a report. From the police, we have the agenda item number 2 that is on the agenda came to that committee. We sent it to the full council with a due pass. We heard from Ms. Brown with the crime stats, and as we saw in the newspaper and the press earlier, about a week or so ago, that crime was up. And so hoping that those numbers will go in reverse going into our next month. So the cameras that we have, they're going to be installed in the first week of May. We switched from Flock over to Motorola, and so those cameras will begin to be installed in May. We're going to focus on areas such as the park, convention center, our new hotel area, also hotspot areas around town. And as we obtain more cameras, we'll be able to spread those to other areas of town. From the fire department, from Chief Compton, he emailed every council member a report from the stats from last month. And we had 11 structure fires during last month. We currently have 2 individuals in the academy, and then we have testing at the end of this month for 5 vacancies. And currently we have 27 applications on file. So we have 27 applications and 5 vacancies. So hopefully we can get those vacancies filled. Right now they're working on redoing the bathroom at Station 7. It's been out of order. I guess they're doing some improvements and some changes there. And for our training center, actually during the meeting, Chief reported that they were doing the footing. They had done it the day before, and he was saying that the pad will be finished that week. But after the meeting, Chief and I actually went to the training center, and they were actually laying down the pad when we pulled up. And so that, at this point, is complete. And hopefully that whole project will be done within the next couple of months. And that concludes my report. Oh, wait, I have something else. I'm sorry. So we have promotion testing from the police department on April 20th, which was today. So we had that today? Yes, sir. Okay. So we had that today. We had one captain spot, 9 sergeant positions, and it was 2 to 3 lieutenant positions that were available. That testing was for. That was held at 10 o'clock this morning at the Pine Bluff Convention Center. And also on April the 30th, we have Chief Warrior and Chief Elliott will be promoted to Assistant Chief at the Kevin Collins Building at 11 o'clock a.m., and that's on April 30th. And that concludes my report.
Can I say woohoo? Okay. Thank you so much. We will go ahead and move on to the proposed ordinances and resolutions, and rather, if there's no objection, then starting with the first ordinance and the reading of the second one, if we could begin with resolution number 3, or item number 3, the resolution commending the Gloves Not Guns organization for its boxers' performance in the 2026 National Silver Gloves Tournament in Independence, Missouri. I just wanted to say that. I know that's how you've got to say it too.
No
but I just wanted to say it.
No objection, Mayor.
Okay. That's right.
So
Okay, Councilmember Holcomb.
So I'm gonna say move for adoption since you already read it.
Okay.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that, are we going to read the resolution?
We gotta
Yes.
read it. Let's go ahead
I
and
just
read
read
it.
the title.
Let's read it because we have names in it.
Yes.
So.
I thought we just was approving that it goes first.
I will. Well, I was saying that I don't have any objection to it being read.
Yeah, well, I don't have it.
Oh, okay,
Being
what?
read
Oh,
first.
me do it?
No.
No. Being read
No, you
first.
asked the question was, you said, is there any objection to
Right.
this being first? And I said no objection.
Okay, thank you.
But we still have to read it.
But you already read the title, so.
I just read the title.
Yeah.
Right, so, thank you.
Whereas the Gloves Not Guns organization provides local youth a wholesome alternative activity through its boxing program, in which the youth are learning discipline, focus, and leadership while making positive choices for their future. And whereas Gloves Not Guns recently participated in the 59th National Silver Gloves of America, held in Independence, Missouri on February the 25th through 28th, 2026. This is a premier annual American amateur boxing competition for young fighters aged 8 through 16, and whereas 4 of the organization's boxers advanced to the semifinals or achieved a champion designation. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Section 1, that we, the mayor and members of the City Council, hereby commend Gloves Not Guns for its positive impact on youth in the community through its boxing program. Section 2, that we further commend each boxer in the organization who participated in the 59th National State Silver Gloves Tournament and congratulate the 4 winners. Darion Spencer, 16 years old, attends Pine Bluff High School, advanced to semifinals. Jonathan Woodard Jr., 10 years old, 106 pounds, is homeschooled, champion status. R.K. Williams, 9 years old, 70 pounds, attends James Matthews Elementary, champion status. And Micah Bones, 8 years old, attends James Matthews Elementary, advanced to semifinals. Section 3, we congratulate and commend Albert Brewer, founder of Gloves Not Guns, and their fine and dedicated coaches, Coach Tim Maxwell and Coach Fabian Drayton, and also those who work diligently to sustain the program. Section 4, we further extend our best wishes for positive outcomes in their future Region 6 competitions and national tournaments.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 3, resolution number 3 be adopted. Any discussion? I do believe that Councilmember Mays would like his name added. Are there any other members who would like their names added to this resolution?
Add my name as well.
Probably all of us.
Everybody? Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and speak for Councilmember Denton, that she wants her name added too. So with that amendment, I will ask if there's any more discussion. And with no more discussion, all of those who wish to vote for the passage of item number 3, resolution, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
No, any opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. And I would like to ask really quickly for our champions and finalists to stand. If by name, Darian Spencer is working. Jonathan Woodall Jr. Yes, yes. R.K. Williams. Enrique, yeah. And Micah Bones. So before we go on to the rest of our agenda, if we could also, I just want to say again, and maybe you just raise your hands, to the leaders and the coaches and mentors who make all of this happen every day. So we not only want to congratulate you, we want to recognize you here as well. And Mr. Brewer, the founder of Gloves Not Guns. And y'all, there's a whole story to this. And at the appropriate time, we will tell that story. But Coach Brewer, if you can please raise your hand. And his dedicated coaches, Coach Tim Maxwell is working, and Coach Fabian Drayton. Yeah. And, yeah, that's what we're about to do. And just, I was about to say, y'all are way ahead of me. Really quickly, if we can ask all of these competitors and finalists and champions to join us on stage for a photo. Okay, y'all want to join in?
There'll be a lot to squeeze together here.
Yeah, we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Y'all who have on gloves, can you hold your gloves up like that? Like that? Yep. There you go.
Bring it down a little bit.
I got everybody. I'm gonna take a couple on 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
All right. Congratulations, guys. Keep it up.
Good group. Good group.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, champions. All right. We'll go ahead and get back to business. Councilmember Holcomb, we can begin with item number 1.
Yes, ma'am. Agenda item number 1, an ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to add a new Article 12 establishing minimum standards for housing and to protect tenants from hazardous housing conditions and for related purposes, up for the second reading.
An ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to add a new Article 12 establishing minimum standards for housing and to protect tenants from hazardous housing conditions and for related purposes.
Place it on the calendar. Agenda item number 2, an ordinance amending policy number 550 of the Pine Bluff Police Department Policy and Procedures Manual respecting use of force and for related purposes, up for the first reading.
Whereas the police department consistently seeks to improve its policies and procedures to improve efficiency, professionalism, and advance public safety, and whereas the chief of police recommends that policy 550 of the department's policy and procedures manual pertaining to response to resistance, use of force, be modified to clarify the policy regarding discharge of a weapon from a moving vehicle, and whereas the council finds that this modification is in the best interest of public safety and welfare, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Section 1, that policy number 550, Section 4H LI through 5I pertaining to response to resistance, use of force found in the Pine Bluff Police Department Policy and Procedures Manual is modified to read as provided in the attached 2-page amendment, which is incorporated herein by reference and is fully set forth. Section 2, the Chief of Police shall ensure that the Department Policy and Procedures Manual is updated to reflect this change and that all uniformed officers of the department are provided with a copy of the new policy and executed an acknowledgement and receipt. Section 3, all ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are repealed to the extent of the conflict. The provisions of this ordinance, as well as the attached policy 550, are declared to be severable, and should any part thereof be found unlawful, the remaining provisions shall continue in full force and effect. Section 5, this ordinance being of a general or permanent nature, the clerk will ensure it is published in compliance with Arkansas law. Section 6, this ordinance takes effect on the 31st day after its passage.
Place it on the calendar. Agenda item number 4, a resolution expressing the willingness of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas to utilize federal aid transportation, all alternatives program funds, Phase 2, Grant Street Multi-Use Trail Project.
Whereas the City Council understands that federal aid, transportation, and alternative funds are available at 80% federal participation and 20% local match to improve Phase 2 of the Grant Street Multi-Use Trail Project, and whereas the City of Pine Bluff understands that federal aid funds are available for this project on a reimbursable basis, requiring work to be accomplished and proof of payment prior to actual monetary reimbursement, and whereas this project using federal funding will be open and available for use by the general public and maintained by applicant for the life of the project, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Section 1, the City of Pine Bluff will participate in the Federal Aid Transportation Alternatives Program in accordance with its rules and regulations, designated responsibility, and including maintenance of Phase 2 Grant Use Multi-Use Trail Project. Section 2, the Mayor of the City is hereby authorized and directed to execute all appropriate agreements and contracts necessary to expedite implementation of the city's participation in the above referenced project. Section 3, the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff pledges its full support and hereby authorizes the mayor to cooperate with the Arkansas Department of Transportation to initiate action in implementing this project. Section 4, the City of Pine Bluff requests and authorizes its Economic and Community Development Department to assist in writing and developing the content of the program project application consistent with all city codes, ordinances, and policies.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 4 be adopted. Any discussion? With no discussion, all of those who wish to vote for the adoption of resolution number 4 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Agenda item number 5, a resolution authorizing the street department to contract for the acquisition of needed vehicle and accessories.
Whereas the street department is in need of an EL truck with accessories, which with its multiple capabilities will improve the department's ability to maintain the city's streets and rights-of-way. And whereas the department has obtained a price quotation from MB Companies, Inc. to sell the truck with the needed accessories through the Sourcewell medium, which is a method authorized by city code and Arkansas law permitting the purchase of items without the necessity of competitive bidding. And whereas the street department should proceed with the acquisition of the EL truck with accessories from MB Companies, Inc. without delay. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, that the street department is hereby authorized to purchase from MB Companies, Inc. an EL truck with accessories for department use and for the price and on the terms set out in the attached 2-page price quotation. The funds for the purchase are sourced from the department's 2026 budget for vehicle equipment acquisition.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 5 be adopted. Any discussion?
Just one thing.
Councilmember Brown?
I was speaking with Mr. Dockett just before the meeting, and he said that on this quotation, this was from 2025, that price then was $213,352, and now in 2026, that quote's a little bit more. It's $228,000. Mr. Dockett stated that he still has the money in his budget to purchase the vehicle, but the quote just changed because of that old quote was expired.
What's the new quote?
It's 200. Hold on, I'm about to. I'm gonna send this out in text.
Okay.
228. Let me see. Let me find the exact number. $228,502.63.
Okay. Still in the budget.
Yes, it's still within his budget.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is the striping truck, right?
Yes.
And this would allow us to put the markings on the streets.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Any further discussion?
Yes.
Councilmember Mays.
Can we make sure that we keep up with this truck and make sure that, nobody come borrow it?
Who borrows our trucks?
I'm just saying.
But I mean, who does? Who does that?
We should have already had all this stuff.
Nobody borrows our trucks. So yes, the answer to your question is absolutely yes, council member.
Well, may I finish?
Yes, you may.
We gotta start working together and just, if we see something over in the street department while we riding by, I look by there anyway. I stop over there sometime. But we just gotta make sure everything works. Pine Bluff is a good city, a great city. We just want to make it better, just every day.
And council member, I just, with all due respect, we are doing that here when we do our due diligence and our job. And then the people elected me to run the day-to-day with our leadership, and we do that. I don't want to encourage anyone to bother our folks while they're working on the street. Not any other citizens, not council members, not me. We need to leave our folks alone and let them do their jobs. If we see that something is wrong, we go to the director or you call me. That is how we do things. Thank you. With no further discussion, all of those who wish to vote for item number 5 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Agenda item number 6, a resolution authorizing a contract with Wagner General Contractors for work respecting the Flaggate project.
Whereas the city advertised for interested vendors to submit bids responsive to the city's specifications for work respecting the planned Flaggate project on the grounds of the Civic Center, and whereas after consideration of the bids received, it has been determined that the firm of Wagner General Contractors, Inc. submitted the lowest, most responsible bid to do the prescribed work, and that a contract for the work should be executed with the firm. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, that the mayor is authorized to execute a contract with Wagner General Contractors, Inc. to perform work respecting the Flaggate project for the consideration and consistent with the city's specification and the vendor's bid, and such other terms and conditions standard in the field for work of this nature. The funds to pay the vendor will come from the budget for special projects.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 6 be adopted. Any discussion? With no discussion, all of those who wish to vote for item number 6 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Agenda item number 7, a resolution amending resolution number 4948 to remove a property north of 3402 Tennessee.
Whereas the property referenced below is included in resolution number 4948, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, that resolution number 4948 passed November 3rd, 2025, is amended as follows. On page 8, delete lines 13 through 15 to remove reference to property with a street address of north of 3402 Tennessee, parcel number 930-47146-000. The Code Enforcement Department will take steps to file this resolution with the Jefferson County Deed Recorder.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 7 be adopted. Any discussion? With no discussion, all of those who wish to vote for item number 7 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Agenda item number 8, a resolution amending resolution number 4955 to correct the parcel number listing.
Whereas the parcel number needs to be corrected with respect to a property listed in resolution number 4955 passed November 17, 2025, entitled "A Resolution Providing for Placement of Costs of Correcting Certain Nuisances on Tax Books as Delinquent Taxes and Collected as Such." Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, that resolution number 4955 passed November 17, 2025 is amended as follows. Respecting property described as lot and block in Southeast 14, Township 6 South, Range 10 West, addition, located 6706 Shannon Road, which is found on page 2 of the resolution number 4955, should reflect the following changes. Change the parcel number listing from 931911121-000 to read 930-62928-000. All other information in the listing is correct. Code Enforcement Department will cause this resolution to be filed in the deed and lead records of Jefferson County, Arkansas, and mail a copy to the last known address of the property owner.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 9 be adopted. Any discussion? With no discussion, all of those who, Councilmember Lockett?
Yes, we need to add the amendment.
Oh, that's on
No,
the
no,
next.
that was.
Oh, that's on the next, that's on 9. Oh, yeah, no discussion.
No, that was number 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say that again. I will entertain. You all said 8? I just said the wrong thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all of those who wish to vote for the passage of item number 8 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay.
Agenda item number 9, a resolution declaring certain houses, building and/or structures as nuisance and ordering their abatement.
Whereas the City Council has determined that the structure is likely.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 9, well,
9, we gonna amend it.
okay. It's moved and seconded that item number 9 be adopted. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Councilmember Lockett?
I'd like to add the amendment to agenda number 9.
Right.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the amendment to item number 9 be adopted. Any discussion? With no discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember May.
Aye.
Councilmember Holcomb.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown.
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett.
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier.
Aye.
Councilmember Brunson.
Aye.
Councilmember Denton. Councilmember Fields.
Madam Mayor,
Motion passes. Yes, Councilmember
we
Lockett.
may want to read the amendment for the record.
For the record, the amendment reads as follows. It's a April 20th memorandum to the Pine Bluff City Council from the City of Pine Bluff Code Enforcement Department regarding the abatement resolution for April 20th, 2026, and it reads, please remove the following abatements from this resolution. And it is listed as number 1, the name is Activala, Inc. The file number is 2021-0000-1357, address 225 West Barracue Street. It's listed as commercial, parcel number 930-48322-000. Reason, property owner will repair structure. That entails the amendment.
Move to adopt as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 9 be adopted as amended. Any discussion? With no discussion, all of those who wish to vote for the adoption of item number 9 as amended indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Agenda item number 10, a resolution providing for placement of costs of correcting certain nuisance on tax book as delinquent taxes and collected as such.
Whereas ACA 14-54-903.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 10 be adopted. Any discussion?
Yes.
Councilmember Mays.
I talked to Mr. Larry Murray on here, Mr. Number 15, and he said he's gonna give you all a call about that. So I'm letting you know if he say anything to you all that number 15, 16.
Is Mr. Murray here?
No, he's not here. That's it.
Any further discussion? With no further discussion, all of those who wish to vote for item number 10 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Agenda item number 11, a resolution amending the 2026 municipal budget as regards the street fund, transit fund, health insurance fund, federal event fund, and public safety facility fund.
Whereas city ordinance requires that an adjustment to the municipal budget be memorialized by ordinance or resolution, depending upon which form was used to approve the annual budget, and whereas the 2026 municipal budget was adopted by resolution, and whereas it is necessary to make amendment to the 2026 municipal budget as described and detailed in the attachment for the street fund, transit fund, health insurance fund, federal event fund, and public safety facility fund. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Section 1, the adjustments to the 2026 municipal budget set out in the attachment are approved. Particulars thereof, as detailed in the attachment, are incorporated herein as if fully set forth, word for word and number for number. Section 2, that the 2026 municipal budget adopted is amended to incorporate the adjustments and changes set out in the attachment. Section 3, the Finance Department will ensure that the budget is implemented as amended.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 11 be adopted. Any discussion? With no discussion, all of those who wish to vote for the adoption of item number 11 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. And next on the agenda is a reading of the announcements. For April 20th, the first item is the UAPB Film Festival, which will take place on April 23rd. The reception will be held at 5 p.m. and the film from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Hathaway Howard Fine Arts Center, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. It will, the festival will feature the baddest speechwriter of all time, which was the 2026 Sundance Grand Jury Prize winner, plus 4 student-directed short films highlighting the civil rights movement. Item number 2, UAPB Founders Week, April 20th through the 26th at UAPB, a week-long tradition with academic, cultural, and social events celebrating over 80 years of university history. Item number 3, Ways of Watercolor, April 25th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Art Space on Main. Hands-on workshop covering washes, layering, and color blending, open to all skill levels. Register by April 21st, sponsored by McFarland Eye Care. Item number 4, Dialoguing with Delta. April 25th, at 10 a.m. at the Arts and Science Center for Southeast Arkansas. Interactive educational event for students from elementary through college, hosted by Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated in partnership with UAPB. Item number 5, Business Expo 2026 on May 7th at Pine Bluff Convention Center. Breakfast will begin at 7:30 a.m., VIP hour at 9 a.m., and public expo from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Booths and networking opportunities available through the Jefferson County Alliance.
Mayor, I just want to say you put a little bit more emphasis on that fourth announcement than you did the others.
And did. And did. Okay. We will move on. Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn, and we will move forward to the public comments on the non.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn with no objection. We are adjourned. There are 5 people scheduled to speak this evening on the non-agenda items. We will begin with Kelly Martin, and she has some questions from the previous council meeting. Kelly Martin and Kelly Martin. Okay. Next is Austin Bunting, speaking on the mobile mechanic shop. All right, thank you, Mr. Bunting. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you.
Sure.
Good morning, council member, or good evening, council
Good
members.
evening.
Yeah. So I'm wanting to open a mobile mechanic shop, and I've called the collectors where you get your business license, and I've been informed that they do not recognize a mobile mechanic. So I called Little Rock. Little Rock will be happy to give me a business license, and I've also been informed that Pine Bluff will recognize a Little Rock's business license, and I've asked Pine Bluff about it. They said even if I get one in Little Rock, they won't recognize it. So I'm just asking.
Wait, say that last part?
So some cities will recognize another city's business license. And when I've asked about being a mobile mechanic here, getting a business license here, I've been informed that I can't get one because Pine Bluff does not recognize a mobile mechanic. So I've called Little Rock. Little Rock will give me one. And when Pine Bluff told me that they honor another city's license, they will not honor that one that I get from Little Rock. So if you honor it or you don't honor it, I don't know.
Mayor.
I'm just wanting to operate a mobile mechanic.
Mayor, can I
Councilmember Frazier.
And I want to apologize because I spoke to you and I did reach out to the city attorney and she sent me something and I forgot to get back to you because it was a little crazy, right? But she said that she didn't understand why you weren't able to get a license. You might not be able to get it specifically called what you're calling it, but as a transient merchant in our, you should be able to get the license.
Right. Yeah, because Little Rock, they run theirs as a cantina. I know it's not a food truck. That's how Little Rock runs theirs, as a cantina. And so that's all I was trying to do, just be legal in the city of Pine Bluff.
But I did that same day. I called her and then I got sidetracked and I didn't get the email to you so I could forward this to you.
Okay.
After this.
Okay, so I will be able to.
She said you should be able to do it as a transient. She said transient merchant means any person, firm, corporation, partnership, or other entity which engages in or does or transacts any temporary or transient business, trade, profession, vocation, or occupation within the corporate limits of the city, either in one location or traveling from place to place.
Okay.
That sounds like you qualify for that.
So instead of you going to a mechanic shop or a dealer, I come to your house or whatever. It's just a lot of convenience.
Well, you up here, you might as well tell us what the name of it is.
Yes.
That sounded like a commercial.
So it's a Break and Wake Mobile Mechanic LLC, and I'll do brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, fluid flushes, just minor mechanic work since that's mobile. And it just gives the person a little more luxury and convenience instead of waiting at a shop and dropping it off.
I'll probably be one of your clients.
It's a growing business.
Councilmember Holcomb.
Ms. Bunny, you spoke to me as well.
Yes, sir.
You know, I spoke, Ms. Hill, what else the information you have for me?
That the city of Pine Bluff doesn't have a mobile license for mechanics. We require work from mechanics to be done commercially and in a bay. So if it's something that you're interested in establishing, it needs to be done by classification.
Okay, I'm sorry. Ma'am, you know you're going to have to come on up here. Sorry. That was a lot. And it's,